I'm Josh Farley, president of Redline Electric and Solar. Join me as we talk to contractors, business owners, and experts who are willing to share their experiences to help you overcome obstacles when you're taking your business up and to the right. Hey, thanks for watching. Today we're with David Berg, the president and founder of Redirect Health. We're going to talk about healthcare in the modern age. And Dave, thanks for coming in.
Hey, great to be here.
Tell us about what you do and who you do it for.
Oh my gosh, which part of my life? You mean for my kids? You got to be a little more specific.
Okay, what is Redirect Health? Let's talk about currently.
Okay, so Redirect Health solves a problem that pretty much every business owner has today, and they all know it. The problem they have, it's people. Yeah. You got it, right? They're people problems, but it solves it in a very, very specific way, and it solves it in a way that I needed solved for my company years and years ago. And now I've just refined it over the last 11 years, and we've packaged it up, and now we give it to, we provide it to other businesses that have the same problem. But we use healthcare to help businesses get better people, and to create better culture, and to create productivity, and to get rid of turnover, and to get rid of recruiting costs, and to help them, in some industries, just destroys their workers' comp costs.
Right.
And gives them huge advantages. So I had a need in my own company to be more productive and get better people on board, and to be a better employer to those people, to serve them better. And so I created this. I know healthcare really well. I'm in the healthcare delivery business, so right. I use what I know well, right. What I do really well, and where I know where the waste is, and where the skeletons are, and where the advantages are, and where the landmines aren't. Right. And I use that to my advantage to create a recruiting turnover people solution. And that's what we do today.
That's great.
Yeah.
You also found a niche. I mean, with the Affordable Health Care Act and everything that's going on with healthcare itself, you almost found a niche between a teledoc and the full insurance. It's kind of in between. It's kind of a one-all mesh.
Yeah.
Talk about exactly what it is.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying, and a lot of people see it that way. I've never thought of it that way. I've got a problem, which is taking care of my people, and part of it is that. And I know healthcare, and when they go out into the healthcare world, hospitals, drug companies, insurance companies, everybody, doctors, brokers, everybody
right.
out there, the system today is the system before when I created it was very inefficient. There's a lot of wasted time. There's a lot of wasted money in it, and it's changed a lot since the 11 years when I started. There was a time where my focus was, 4 parts on creating efficiencies in the system, navigate people through it very efficiently, and maybe 1 part protecting them from unnecessary costs. Right. Today it's flipped. It's 1 part creating efficiencies, and then easily 4 or 5 times protecting them from unnecessary costs. And unfortunately, the healthcare system in America has evolved in a very predictable way. To a point where when we're sick, or when we're injured, or when we're scared, the system is designed to prey on us.
Right.
And the people who are paying for our health care. Right. So the system it will prey on the individual, but also prey on the employer who's paying for the health care.
Right.
And it's quite a sad state of affairs. And so we position ourselves between the consumer, the purchaser and the user, the employer and the employee, and our families,
yep.
and the rest of the system. And I wish that we were just providing efficiencies like we intended when we started doing this, but that's not where the greatest need is right now. Right now, it's protection against the price gouging, or against the things that right. do not serve us. So we position ourselves between the system and the consumer, and we've gotten very, very good at it. And as I talk to people about what we're doing, they want to say, oh yeah, it's teledoc, isn't it? Or it's stop-loss insurance, or it's population health, or it's this, or it's that, or right? It's really about an integrated A to Z, end-to-end solution specific to the problems of small, medium-sized businesses and their employees and their
right.
families, who are being preyed on by this system whenever they're sick or injured. So I've been told a number of times now, it's really like we create a new category. It's like a healthcare strategy and protection.
Yeah,
category.
I tried to prep, and I was like, I don't know where I couldn't explain
There
it.
is no category for
right.
it, and I'm looking for others who are doing this, just so we're not the only ones in the market doing it. And I can't find them yet, but I can see all the components brewing.
Right.
They just haven't connected all the dots yet.
Gotcha.
Right, but all the components, including Teledoc, is one of those very important components.
Right.
And really, the biggest problem that businesses are having right now, and it's a new problem that Josh, they're not aware of. And my mission right now has evolved to helping small, medium-sized businesses become aware of this big new issue or problem before their competitors do. And it's
Well, then tell me after the show. I want them to know. No, go ahead. What is it?
You have to beg a little bit more. No. So unlike 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, nobody in America right now, let's start with Arizona.
Yep.
To get rid of any arguments, but it applies to all America right now.
Yep.
There's nobody in Arizona can afford to buy health care on their own anymore. Nobody.
No.
None. Doesn't exist. Now, if you want to argue with me, then I'm just going to go to, okay, let's say the first 80% of the people who make under $20 an hour. There's no way. I mean, if you go on to the individual market right now, you got one company, and that one company, a family of four, you're going to spend somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000. And then you're going to have a $10,000, $12,000 deductible.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You can't do it. And if you look at just start with 51% of Americans make $15 an hour or less. That is who we hire, right? Small, medium-sized businesses. You know what the 51% of the savings, 51% of the families aged 20 to 40, that millennial group, extended out a little bit, 51% of those families have $480, less than $500 of savings or less.
Wow.
And we give them a $12,000 deductible. So it's now impossible for them to even believe that young millennial, lower wage worker, new worker, to them that they can even afford to buy anything. So let's take that a little step further. Where are they going to get their health care? You, me, the employer. So we got all this pressure on us. If we want productive, happy, unburdened people, we have to be able to solve this problem for them. We have to. Or we have no chance of getting their undivided attention towards our mission when they're worried about if my little girl breaks her arm tomorrow, I have no way to help her. Can you imagine what that would feel like as a parent to just know it hasn't even happened yet and we're stressed over it?
Of course.
Much less you have a little girl with asthma and you're struggling to figure out how to pay for that $80 asthma inhaler.
Right.
Right? It doesn't work. So the employers now are having this added pressure to take care. And if we don't take care of them, one of three things will happen. One is they're going to go work for a competitor does.
Yep.
And two, they're going to quit, so they qualify for the state Medicaid program. And we're seeing that a lot more now from employers. I just met with a dentist with 10 stores, and he just lost a receptionist because she had to quit because she was about to have her baby, and the only way she can get the Medicaid coverage is if she went on Access because he was paying her too much. She couldn't qualify. So her only option is very logical. Now, he thought it was because she wasn't being responsible, but when I explained to him the numbers, he go, oh my gosh, she did exactly what I would do. Right? And then the last thing they can do is they can, I don't know what the third thing is.
It's
That's a
fine.
Rick Perry.
That's fine. we can cut that.
No, leave it in there.
All right, good.
I'll remember it and then I'll say it.
Awesome.
But my point is they don't have options.
Right.
Right. Or you know what the third thing was? You know what the third thing is? It's the most important thing, and so it affects a lot of industries more than others. Is they're going to use your workers' comp.
Oh.
They're going to use your workers' comp. You get that.
Yep.
Right. So if they have nothing out there, and they can't buy it on their own, and they can't afford your health plan because there's $600 price tag or a $300 price tag and high deductibles, or even a $10 copay.
Right.
That's $10 copay is still more than $0 that they would pay if they can make it a workers' comp claim.
Right.
But if they make it a workers' comp claim, that's the most expensive form of health care you're going to pay for.
Of course.
The most expensive. You get it because you're in that industry and you care about EMODs, experience modification factors.
Yep.
And so they're either going to quit so they get on the state program, they're going to work for a competitor, or they're going to use your workers' comp.
Right.
So I want to protect them from doing any one of those things and the employer from them doing any one of those things because the employer suffers all three of those things and the employee suffers too.
Well,
and our economy and our community
I
suffers.
mean, I struggled when I started my business. I couldn't afford anything. My wife was a stay-at-home mom. We couldn't afford anything. And then, luckily, my wife went back to school. She became a nurse. So luckily, we get it through her work. Like I still can't grasp the whole with the invention of the Affordable Health Care Act. It eliminated affordable. I remember back in the day, I could get a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan for $59 a month.
Yeah,
by
you could
myself.
afford it back
I
then.
could call them myself and say I
Exactly.
need it. And now we looked at the market because my wife's considering changing companies or changing something, and it's like $2,500 a month.
Yeah,
for my whole family
so
to be
multiply
covered.
that by 12, $30,000.
Yeah.
Not tax deductible. Not tax deductible. Now put that into the context of the 51% of American or more, who make $15 an hour or less.
Yep.
But if you go to $20 an hour, you still can't afford it. You go to $30 an hour, you probably still can't afford it. My point is, nobody except for the affluent
Right.
can afford it in the individual market, and that's a new phenomena, as you're
Right.
pointing out. So that there's a new pressure on businesses now, and even if you don't want to do it, and you're not afraid of your competitors,
Right.
you should be afraid of them using your workers' comp. You should be afraid of them coming to work with this burden, right?
Right.
So
Well,
it
it puts
is
a burden on
affecting
your
us.
employees because the government's saying you have to have this or you're going to get penalized, and you don't have any money in the bank. So now what you thought, a lot of people use their tax return as a savings of what you thought was coming.
Yeah.
They're going to take it, although
Yeah.
changes are coming.
So next year that goes away for the individual. It
Bank
doesn't
it.
go away for the employer.
Gotcha.
Something could change though. But do the math on that. It's $695 in penalty, not tax deductible, so you got to make a little more to do that per adult. Half of that per child, or 2.5% of your income, whichever's higher. No limit on what's higher.
Right.
So that is going to be less expensive. That's going to be, call it $2,100 for somebody making $15 an hour. I kind of made that up, napkin math. But $2,100 a year, not tax deductible, so maybe you have to make $2,500 to do it, versus the $30,000.
Right.
What do you think their option is?
Right. They're going to pay the penalty.
They have no option
Right.
but pay the penalty. And that's going to be in 2018. It was in 17 and 16 and 15, but it won't be there in 19 if things go through. It doesn't solve a problem, though. It doesn't solve the real problem.
And they can take that $2,100. I mean, that's more than Redirect Health.
Yeah, with taxes and everything else, and especially depending on how the employer decides to leverage it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and Redirect Health, is that ACA compliant?
Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things out there I have to ask.
Yeah. You know what's interesting?
I know
about-
that, but I was asking for this.
Okay. You know what's interesting is I didn't even create this for the ACA. I didn't create this strategy to monetize it or to commercialize it. I didn't even create it to give it to anybody or to share it with anybody. This is my secret for about 2 years.
Right.
And I had huge advantages having this secret. And I knew the myths out there that everyone else believed that I knew weren't true because I was in the industry. And, things like the cost is the cost. And I knew that a baby at this hospital was $3,800, and I knew a baby at this hospital was $21,000 because
Right.
this hospital always upcharged and this one didn't. Right? I knew that. Think of the advantage I have now if I structure it where I'm paying $3,800 and you're paying $21,000.
Right.
I mean, I was killing it when I knew that knowledge. And then this funny thing happened called the recession in 2008 and 9, and I'm in Young Entrepreneurs Organization at that time, now called EO,
Right.
Entrepreneurs Organization. We aged out a bit and we just got rid of the Y instead of quitting.
Right.
We killed the young organization and just created a new one, I guess.
Gotcha.
But I just had friend after friend who was getting hurt by the recession, and their health insurance costs were going up, or they were being forced to raise deductibles higher and higher and higher. And I'm sitting here with the secret, and I'm going, I don't want to tell anyone this.
Right.
This is my little secret. This is my competitive advantage.
Your edge,
It was a
right.
trade secret for me back then. I had this strategy. I was getting good at it, and I was leveraging it. And I was like 2 years into this, and I was excited about having this knowledge. And then I just started helping my friend. Okay, don't tell anyone, Josh. Here's what we're going to do. Boom, boom, boom. And that's going to save you $30,000 right out of the gate. Or boom, boom, boom. That'll save you $8,000 a month.
Right.
Here's what you do. And I was doing that in 2008, 9, with the recession. And I probably got up to about 15 companies. Pretty much all of them were in YO at the time. And but I did help another friend of mine who's my partner, Paul Johnson, used to be mayor of Phoenix. I helped him. I helped his brothers and his company.
Right.
And Paul still is the chairman of the board of my original company. And so Paul and I did a deal. He wanted me to create it as a service line within my old company as a chairman of the board. It was good advice. I was a little afraid of what that would mean if I go out there and shake up the market. I didn't know what that meant. And that didn't sound good. I was a bit of a chicken back then, now that I think about it. Right now, if I was doing it today, I'm a lot braver.
Right.
I probably just would have done it. But I wasn't back then because I didn't know it. So I convinced Paul or Paul convinced me, depending who we're talking to.
Right, of course.
But we decided to create Redirect Health in 2014, where we could help businesses do this, what we were doing. And first, our thought was just Arizona, because we were already helping friends. Now let's help other entrepreneurs who aren't friends that we know, or we know the problem, we know the pathway. It's so certain, it's worked 100% of the time, it's lowered cost, and help them recruit and help them decrease turnover and help them get rid of workers' comp costs. And it was so we're just going to do it in Arizona. And then the funniest thing happened is some of the companies, we probably signed up about 20 companies were paying us back in 2014, let's say 14 and 15.
Yep.
And about 4 of them had employees in other states. So we were kind of forced by our own customers to go to Alaska and Oregon and Washington and California and Nevada and Colorado and New Mexico. Those are states I remember. And we never intended to do it, but we were just, okay, we'll just do it for clients. We'll just do it. But we had to change things, had to learn what the laws were in other states and refine our product a little bit to do it. And we found that it worked just as well outside of Arizona as it worked inside. It's in some places even better because the resources weren't there in maybe rural Oregon.
Right.
And they needed us even more, and we could help the companies in big, big ways we never anticipated even, because we weren't using it for this purpose for us. And then in 2016, we decided to open it and just say, without promoting it, let's just open it to any state. And we actually added another 25 states.
Wow.
Without even trying. So then we said, okay, this is really working well. So in 2017, in January, we hired somebody to go promote it. And I think now we're in 43 or 45 states and could be in all 50.
Right.
About 7,000 people.
No, I mean, it's a great vision. It's a great, you're doing awesome. And it's affordable for guys like me, contractors that we don't have, we're begged every day, sharpen your pencil. We need you to come down. Or, it's a competitive market for us. And there's guys out there willing to do it. It just makes it hard to provide benefits like that to our employees.
Can I add something else? So we get this from employers all the time about it's affordable for me, it's affordable for me. I want to just get rid of that thinking because that implies there is a cost even. I can show any employer, I've shown many hundreds of employers how to do it for zero cost.
Right.
I don't know how I make it more affordable than that. And what that means is if an employer sponsors the plan, our strategy, they now provide something to their employees they can't get on their own. That will allow the employees to buy health care for probably a sixth of the cost of what it would cost them if they went to the regular market.
Right.
Right? And I just showed you an example of 1/10 of the cost. So I'm being pretty generous when I say 1/6 of the cost. So an employer can pay nothing today and just sponsor the plan, just sign the paperwork to allow their employees to do the things that they can't do on their own outside of an employer-sponsored plan, and let the employees pay 100% of it.
No employer contribution.
Exactly, all day long.
Wow.
That's a starting place. Now, it's a little harder to leverage that,
of course,
right? Because you're not, they're paying for it. But if you're in an industry where none of your competitors are providing a health plan,
right,
and you're the only one with this employer-sponsored plan, even though you paid nothing, but you made it affordable to your employees because you're just being smart.
Yep.
You got a huge advantage.
Right.
I don't know how long that lasts because free is pretty easy to copy, right? Your competitors pretty ezy to put that plan in place too, right?
Right, of course.
Or you have to pay me a lot of money to make it exclusive, and then it's no longer free, right? But our base product is $105 a month, which is 61 cents an hour.
Right.
And I know that, and in order to help our employer clients leverage the capability we give them, we've created a whole recruiting division within our company. We've gotten good at this, and where we market to the community to find employees who value healthcare so much that they'd be willing to work for $1 less an hour.
Right.
For a service that only costs 61 cents.
Now I'm net 40. Now I'm net 39
right.
cents.
Now,
right.
So what we find is when employers really understand it,
yeah,
even though they could offer this platform, that is always the first step. Offer this platform, costs you nothing, get it in place, help your people. Maybe it doesn't help the people who picked Aetna or United or Blue Cross, the traditional stuff. It doesn't help them because maybe they're happy with it. Let's just assume they are.
Yep.
Less and less people are because it's so expensive. But let's just start with the people in your company who've said no to your health plan, who have nothing today. And they're going out in the marketplace and being asked to spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 out of pocket they don't have.
Right.
Give them something that actually works for them so they can get health care for their family, cost you nothing. And then make a strategic decision at the CEO level. This is a mistake business we're all making in business, and I made it myself for so many years. I can't believe I was so dog-headed about it. I thought, well, I pay my broker to do it. I pay my HR benefit manager to do it. I pay my CFO to do it. I don't want to do their work. And my thinking has evolved now. Yeah, you're right. I don't want to do their work, but I don't want to make them do my thinking. And that's an important distinction.
Gotcha.
The thinking, the decision, the strategy, the vision is mine as CEO.
Of course.
I'm never going to give that away.
Right.
But I do need help executing, and I need strategic execution. I need people who can think and can help run out the plan and make it happen. So the mistake that I see business owners making is they want to delegate it, the strategy, the thinking, because they see it as it's just a commodity, it's just a cup. Anyone else can buy it and get ripped off just like I can. This is different. We're talking about culture, we're talking about people, we're talking about competitive advantage.
Right.
It's not even fair to ask our benefits manager, HR manager to take over that. Not even fair. And so we're helping at the CEO level, the owner level,
Yep.
for them to understand the strategy, the thinking around this, and also how to think about it so they don't end up being the one with the to-do list. Because we're all too busy if we're running companies. We don't have time for another one thing.
I don't know how much I got to do right now. Yeah.
Right. So I got to help with that too. And so the main thing I want the CEOs to know is if they know the fair price for their company's health plan and for their employees, and they decide the price and their budget. My budget right now is zero. That's a strategic CEO ownership level decision to decide my budget's zero.
Of course.
That is not your HR manager's benefit. And if you leave it to him or her and the broker, don't be surprised if you pay a little more, right?
Right, of course.
Than zero.
Right.
But I say start at zero and make that decision. And then understand where the contribution you can make as an employer, as a CEO, as an owner, will have the greatest ROI potential, right? So if you're struggling with workers' comp, I can show you exactly where you want to put your contribution and where the ideal dollar amount is. And I will tell you, it's not $5 a person.
Well,
it's 61 cents an hour.
I can't tell you. I can't even tell you how many thousands of dollars I spent on recruiting. And then you bring in the team member and they don't work out or something happens, So just that money alone invested in something that's so worthwhile or that's so needed from the community. I mean, I don't see why everybody doesn't do it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm stumbling.
You know why they don't do it is, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but the healthcare industry today, it doesn't deserve your trust, and you don't trust it.
Listen, I go to the doctor.
There's a part of you that says, I know you, Dave. I like you, and I've been impressed with things you've helped me with and others, but it's too good to be true. I can pay nothing, and nobody else is saying that. Come on, Dave. What's the catch? The catch? And I get it. The industry today, healthcare industry, does not deserve your trust.
Well, the industry, you go to the doctor, the first thing they say to you is, can I get your insurance card?
Yeah.
That's like me. If somebody were to call me, how are you going to pay for this? Like, I'm not gonna retain any customers, let alone get them. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's outrageous.
I would say there's some bold things that are happening today that weren't happening 6 months ago in our own city. I'm not going to name any names because I will get sued so fast. Yeah. But there is a hospital system that on the second bill, it's already pre-stamped with this is final notice about to be sent to collections.
Yeah.
It scares people, and the bills.
I've seen it on my first notice.
Oh my gosh! It's just like everyone, even the system doesn't trust that the system's going to pay them. So everyone's creating like conceptually a dollar worth of waste or extra administration to go collect their 10 cents. And if you're doing it, and I'm doing it, and everybody's doing it, guess what? Don't be surprised we're paying 40 times more than we should.
Right.
And I say 40 times. I've said it before, and people go, "Oh, you're exaggerating."
Look at where we're at.
No. I mean, I'll give you example after example. You sprain your ankle, you walk into any emergency room, you're going to be slapped with a $1,200 X-ray of that.
Right.
Our members call us, and the same sprained ankle. No, you're going to get a $27 X-ray. Maybe if we're not really on it, you might have to pay $35.
Right.
But call it $30 and $1,200. That's a 40x difference.
Right.
And all day long. Not even mentioning the orthopedic consult that's added to that sprained ankle and all the other things that the hospital can do, or the MRI that's added to it. It's craziness out there, Josh.
Yeah.
I mean, we had somebody fell off a horse and bruised their ribs and went into one of these urgent cares you see popping up, which are really just feeder systems for the big hospital systems. Because there was trauma protocol was the reason for it. No thought, just trauma protocol, because
Right.
Could have been your employee said the word trauma, fell off a horse,
Right.
little bruise, wonder what I should do. She needed a $27 X-ray. That's the first step. Instead, she's put in an ambulance, taken to the hospital, where they did 7 CT scans at $3,500 each. Physical therapy consult, orthopedic consult, lung consult. Time she was done, I think it was like $29,000
Wow.
for something that should cost $27,000. Again, the system is designed and geared to pray when you're injured or sick, and it's so good at it. And there's fear, and and it's hard as a policymaker to argue with them because they're so much more sophisticated than anybody in elected office. They haven't got a chance against the system.
Well, it's not like they consult with these patients. The patients in need. They just do. They don't explain as they go through, and before you know it, you're like, what did I sign up for? Here's my bill. It's getting bigger and bigger. What did I sign up for? That was my armpits. Stay sweaty. Well, I'm a strong believer in what you're doing. I appreciate you providing, an affordable option for guys like me, contractors out there that can offer amazing things to their client, to their employees to keep them.
Yeah, the good news with contractors is you could keep it at 100% funded by your employees, and for right now anyway, because we have contractors doing that, and they're killing workers. They're making money because their workers' comp E-mods have gone from like 1.44 to 0.71 in 2 years. Right there. That's right to the bottom line. They could afford to pay for it, but they don't have to yet.
Right.
But they will soon, and they get that. They will soon because it's too good, right? And they know that sooner or later everyone's going to do it this way.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
We got a deal.
Thanks, sir. Any words of wisdom for guys just starting out?
People.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of people. And I get that the healthcare industry has made everybody afraid of people. The Affordable Care Act, all the employment laws, the minimum wage laws. Oh my gosh, it's just, I get it, how scary people would be. And I'm old enough that I was in a generation, kind of the pre-technology at 54, where if I wanted to grow, I knew I had to hire people. I knew it.
Right.
Young people today, I mentor a lot of people, as you know, through the EO Accelerator program.
Yep.
And the biggest difference I see between the ones that I did 7 years ago, the people I knew 7 years ago and the people today, is the people 7 years ago knew they had to hire people. The people today are going, maybe I can do without people. And business just isn't as fun without people.
Hence the computer screen in your local fast food restaurants,
Yeah.
Hello, anybody here?
So the advice I'd give them is don't be afraid of people, because that will limit you. There's huge opportunity for those companies that know how to create a culture and to get the people on board and to take care of. And I know I can't solve all the problems for them. I'm just telling them the healthcare problem that is creating some of that fear does not need to exist for them.
Gotcha.
None of it. You can get it to zero, and you can provide affordable options for people today without you paying a dime. And you can make it affordable to them. But you've got to be smart about it, and you have to be the leader. You cannot delegate this, the decision maker, the strategy, the vision, the leveraging of it, to anyone as a CEO.
Right.
Delegate the execution of it and the running of it all day long, the operations of it, but own the strategic thinking part of it and the leveraging part of it.
So it's yours to own. Do it for your team. Do it for yourself. Yeah. How do we get a hold of you?
So our website, redirecthealth.com, just like it sounds. And otherwise, just email me, david.berg, B-E-R-G, like iceberg, at redirecthealth.com. And happy to help.
Great.
And it's easier than you think. Just sign some papers, sponsor the plan, give it to your employees, and they can sign up and figure out later.
A zero out-of-pocket offer. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, it's too good to be true. I must just be lying to you.
Thanks for coming in, sir.
Okay. Thanks, man.
You bet. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you like what we're doing here, subscribe to our podcast at iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, and to our YouTube channel to see more episodes. Go to upandtotheright.org to get all the links.